Oh yeah, we're live.
All right. Well, we're going to do it one by one. First topic of tonight: who deserves the Fighter of the Year? It's only two people that could be Fighter of the Year, as far as I'm concerned.
There's only one person that can
Nope.
be fighter here.
Kevin Holland or Davison Figueiredo.
You mean Kevin Holland?
No,
Kevin Holland.
I mean,
right?
well, hold on. Actually, I like both fighters. I actually am leaning more so towards Kevin Holland. However, Figueiredo saved a division by himself.
How, Sway? How?
Hold on. Actually, I like both fighters. That was dying. I would prefer that Dana White was trying to get rid of for almost, Kevin Holland. I think like 2 years now.
He saved a division that didn't need to be killed off in the first place. So that's why I don't give that any merit, because that's just one person's opinion who I don't no, I really don't agree with that. And if we're just basing it off of just the circumstance that he was in, that's more Brandon Moreno than it is Davison Figueiredo. Because if it was Davison Figueiredo that we would have thought we were going to see, he would have just ran through him and it would have been like, oh, we see why this is a dead division. So I don't really give that to Davison Figueiredo for that accolade. Oh, I saved the division. No, you really didn't, because you just replaced another guy who retired and then replaced another guy who went to another promotion. Like there's been three guys now that have ran through all the competition in that division. So I don't give him credit for quote unquote saving a division. And that shouldn't go to him. That should go to Brandon Moreno for his performance against him. On the flip side, if you look at Kevin Holland fought 5 times. There's only 2 other people in the UFC that's ever done that and got 5 wins. And his last win was against a person who was a legend. And we learned a lot about Kevin Holland, because Jacare Souza is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu powerhouse. And Kevin Holland, who fairly still unnamed and massively underrated, said, hey, I'm not afraid of you on the ground. Like, even on my back, I'll go for submissions. And the fact that he beat him while on his back is even more to the creativity and prowess of Kevin Holland. Like, if we all watch that fight, Kevin Holland knocked him out on his back.
He did. He definitely did. And yeah, that was fantastic.
So, and I look at it like this. Kevin Holland's kind of been up and down in the last 2 years in the UFC since he's come around.
Mm-hmm.
But he came into it and won a fight against Thiago Santos, who we thought is one of the people that gave John Jones kind of a run for his money in a serious fight, and put him away. And then he's kind of had these streaks of I'm winning and then a loss here and there where it was kind of like, I'm being careless because I'm still young. He's still very young.
Yeah, like 27
for this game. And then this year you got 5 fights, 5 wins, and you've obliterated every single person. And you destroyed, you had a good fight in which you beat a Joaquin Buckley, who we see Joaquin Buckley as, hey, he might be one of the future stars in this sport too.
Yeah.
The way he's performed in his last 2 fights. I got to give it to Kevin Holland, because Kevin Holland, along with Chimaev, who could have been like a 3rd place for that conversation of Fighter of the Year, has set a new pace in the UFC where it's none of this. I fight maybe once, twice a year, 3 times a year. If their contract says they fight 3 times a year, is, hey, bro, I'll fight 5, 6 times in 1 year. You're going to see me constantly. It reminds me of the old, I don't want to say attitude era because it's a wrestling term, but the Spike days of UFC, where I was going to see somebody with a big name 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
I
mean, we have fighters like that, though. Like, even though he's a bum, Donald Cerrone, That was his whole model, anytime, anywhere. And he was willing to fight multiple times within 1 year. Like, given to him, he'll probably fight 5, 6, 7 times within a year if he could. So, I mean, yeah, he definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because Chad and I was talking about that too. So, yeah. There isn't. I do too. He backs it
Yeah.
up. Yeah, there was one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with any of that.
Yeah. He called out Derek Brunson already. Yeah,
He
he
called,
said I want to strike with him.
he's called out a few people.
Yeah, he called out Adesanya, Derek Brunson, um, called out Kamayev. So yeah, he called out at least 3 or 4 people already. I didn't know his reach was that long. I mean,
Ooh,
yeah, I get that, but
Kevin Holland.
I didn't know his reach was longer than Adesanya's. I was surprised about that.
Do I think that he is competition for Israel Adesanya right now? No, I just don't think he has enough experience for that.
Give him a
Um,
year. Give him a year.
it doesn't play into the Adesanya narrative. Like you just can't make that fight. You have to make the Jan fight because you have to build enough hype in the game to bring back John Jones. And that's
Yeah,
either going to be a heavyweight title fight or it's going to be a light heavyweight title fight against a guy he's been talking shit to for about a year and a half now.
that's true.
That, because he's got to get paid. John Jones is a guy we're probably from now on only going to see once a year because of
Yeah,
just financial reasons. Like it's just going to be way too expensive to pay him that much to fight,
yeah,
which he deserves. Yeah.
yeah.
Chat saying that they can't hear you, James. If
Ooh, that's not good.
you want to go a little louder.
Might want to just move the mic a little closer to you, bro.
Yeah.
They can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I hear you perfectly.
I was barely able to hear you.
So
All right, all right, so we all agree Kevin Holland. Because I'm fine either way.
I mean, yeah, I'm fine either way too. I mean, there's nothing in the race. So if I had to pick, it would be Kevin Holland because Figueiredo is dominant this year. But
I think
if our main point that we're giving him is that he saved the division, he really didn't. That was more Brandon Moreno saved the division right there because I think Dana kind of would have looked at it like, hey, we got another dude in the division, which there isn't any competition. And he's gone through and marked everybody. And it's the same MO. It's the guy that was willing to drop 20 to 30 pounds to go down that far and just beat up guys that are just small.
Yeah, which is dangerous.
It's very dangerous. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I think that the weight cuts for Figueiredo are more challenging than the fights.
I believe so. That's always a thing that people. I mean, I'm not gonna say people don't talk about, but I think people don't understand how hard it is cutting weight.
Oh yeah, weight cutting is ridiculous.
Yeah,
he got rushed to the emergency room twice.
Yeah. My coach Dameron Kirby had me eating vinegar chicken. Vinegar boiled chicken.
Disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. And then at the end of the camp, Jabari comes and says, "Oh, you could have just ate double eggs, man. Look, either way,
it's disgusting.
It's rough. It's rough, like absolutely rough."
I look at it like this: if Figueiredo at this point, if he wants to impress me, just move up. Move up.
But would that do?
The bantamweight?
I mean, yeah. How? What are the sizes as far as bantamweight? I mean, average height and everything. Would it still benefit him? Because that
I think it would.
It may, but he looks good at the division where he's at.
He looks bigger than everyone in his division.
Do we think that he would have a problem fighting against Peter Yan or Volkanovski?
Volkanovski,
yes.
Yeah.
You think he'd have a problem?
I take that back. Peter Yan may give him some work too. I'm not gonna hold.
I mean,
but do you see where we're at with that division? Is that we're saying that Figueiredo would have competition against guys that are just 10 pounds heavier, and you cutting almost 30 pounds, bro, to go down that low?
I mean, because
I'm about to say, like, we was talking about Cody Garbrandt fighting Figueiredo, and we already said Figueiredo will wash Cody.
Yeah.
So I think he can definitely compete with the bantamweight division for sure. I think he has a chance of beating Peter Yan.
Oh, dude. Hey, you know what, Brad? Hey, Brad.
I'm still not sold on Peter Yan.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to stop playing with Peter Yan, all right? You're going to stop playing with Peter Yan, all right?
I'm still not sold. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Okay. All right.
But that's a whole nother conversation for another episode. We need to move on.
I mean, look, all I'm saying is I feel like it's still a decent race in who could be fighter of the year. But either way, like I said, no answer is a wrong answer. But I do enjoy Kevin Holland more, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I think Kevin Holland's future of the sport. He's got an all-around skill set.
Yep, sure does.
Yeah,
sure does. So I'm with it. Here we go.
What about this guy? How do y'all feel about Jake Paul?
Hey, look. Fuck Jake Paul.
In the past, I was over him come the fight with
Nate.
I don't even want to talk about that Nate Robinson fight because it's stupid at the end of the day because boxing kind of allows you to be a little silly like that.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
And we have to call these what they are. They're money grabs.
Right.
Prize fighting in boxing has always been that for the most part. It's just now because most hardcore boxing fans are few and far between because nobody boxes anymore. Like,
besides my dog Canelo.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the general consensus, especially in the United States. There's not a lot of boxers. A lot of people aren't lining up to go to boxing gyms, where it was like in my dad's day or my granddad's day, where it's like everybody boxed.
Yeah, I mean, no, that was a thing. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I mean, if you look at even like my dad went to a service academy, like the requirement was every single cadet had to box. Like you had to take a boxing for 2 semesters or else you could not graduate. Like that's I don't know if that's still in effect, but I think that's gone. I think boxing has lost.
Yeah,
I think a lot of, but I think boxing lost a lot of its appeal.
Yeah, it's definitely a dying sport. So
I
can't say it's dying.
Too much. The only reason why I say it's not going to go away is because there's a lot of money involved, and they know they can still make a lot of money from it.
That's why it's not dying.
Right.
That's why it's not dying.
But has the sport progressed anywhere in the past 50 years?
We've already established this last EP. No, it did not.
It hasn't gone anywhere.
It's not.
So it's just stagnant. All right.
if I'm like the serious boxing guys, like serious, I get why Mike Tyson and did that and everything like that. Like that's Mike Tyson. But if I'm like a super diehard boxing guy, I'm kind of shutting that shit down now.
I mean,
Because this is getting silly. Because you got a guy like Jake Paul that is harassing professional fighters.
yeah.
Like guys that's like, hey, if it wasn't just a show and a production, like they would murk you.
Yeah. You saw what he did to Dylan Dennis and like how he's following Conor McGregor's wife, and he said his wife's ugly as hell. He could do better.
No. I mean, be truthful what he said. You basically called out Conor McGregor and said, hey, you must be tired of beating off because your wife's a 4.
Yeah, he said you could do better. I mean, he ain't lying, but
Look, I'm all about.
No, I'm not even going to talk about all that
with
Conor McGregor or his family. All due respect to Conor and all that shit like that, but you've crossed the line. Like there's certain things that you just don't do. Now, has Conor himself crossed those lines? So therefore, it's open season on him. Yes,
I was just about to say but
right. But at the end of the day, there's a hierarchy for that.
It is.
You know, Conor is saying that, hey, because bro, I'm about to fight you.
Yeah.
Like I'm seriously gonna fight you, and we're on similar levels.
You're right.
Whereas if Jake Paul and Conor McGregor ran into each other in the street,
it's a whole different story.
Oh yeah, because look, all I'm saying is, I think that Conor has matured. I don't know. Jake Paul talk all that trash, but I don't got Jake acting like that. If like it was a Khabib situation,
no, it's all a show.
Yeah,
it's definitely
all.
Like,
and that's kind of where I'm over it. Like I'm over the show. And I told you I wasn't even going to talk about Jake Paul, but here I am talking about Jake Paul.
I mean, you kind of have to talk about. He's so relevant.
Bend that arm. We can't do it in jiu-jitsu, but we can do it on the show.
But this is more of a grievance of society and the times today and the commoditizing attention, because that's all this is. So that's a whole nother conversation. But I don't like it because it doesn't do anything for the sport.
No, it does nothing for boxing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Unless really Jake Paul's been saying that he wanted to be a boxer seriously for a while now, and if this really is going to be his quote unquote lane, we need to stop him. He just need to start fighting actual boxers. He brings in the views. That's what it is. But you're right though, because to me,
but here's the thing. If
he's well,
another thing I was thinking of, and why I was even gonna bring it up is, if I'm an up and coming boxer, and we all know how hard training is, especially for boxing, to be a proficient boxer. It's minute details that you have to work on all the time in order to be good, and you have to put a lot of time and effort to be proficient at it. And you have a kid that knows nothing about boxing that just runs his mouth and automatically he's at the highest level. That's like me saying, hey, only because I'm popular on the internet and I got a little bit of attitude so people tune in, I should be able to play in the NBA finals because it'll sell more tickets. You see how fucked up that is when you go to a different sport and equate that?
Yeah, you're right.
That's why I don't like it. Like it's dead to me. Yeah, I mean, it's dead to me because you just disrespected the 100,000 other kids in this country and worldwide that are busting their ass in the gym every day,
grinding to get it,
to that point.
Yeah, that's why Dana White responded the way he did.
Yeah,
he said, I'll get Amanda Nunes to beat his ass.
And I mean, I'm not mad at him for that.
And I'm all for it.
Yeah, I say get Amanda to do it. I mean, you know what? Let me not be strong here with that one. I don't know about that, but I think Amanda Nunes may do some damage.
and what are we watching it for? You know, as the consumer, like what are we watching it for?
Right.
And that's something I kind of want to bring up at another time is what does combat sports mean to us? Like this isn't Rome. These aren't glad. Like this isn't. Are we here for blood sport? Are we just here to watch other human beings hurt other human beings, or do we want to learn something from this?
I mean, you gotta understand it. You know that it's called the hurt business. So that's what people.
I know. And I know that's why people are there. And part of me is that's why I'm there. But I take a lot more from it.
I do. Me too.
than the I guess the average person
Well,
would be, and it's like I'm not excited to watch two regular people fight because it wouldn't do anything for me.
I mean, that's the thing though too.
Hey, look, I'm not a trained fighter or anything, but it doesn't really do anything for me. Like, I guess at this point, I'm just so in tune with actually seeing professionals and people that actually know what they're doing, that seeing two celebrities or just seeing two nobodies just doing something such as this, it's an absolute joke. So
Yeah.
no, I definitely I can somewhat understand your frustration. Like,
I mean, my thing is, I think maybe people like that they feel like they're regular people. I guess they can get in here and do this, and that's why they fight. Granted, they're stars, but let's just be real. Like you said, in combat, you can't play combat, so it's like.
Dumb.
yeah.
So it's like yeah. So it's like the thing that these guys are playing combat, the more people, more people can relate to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it draws the views. That's where it draws the views. Is this guy really good? Can he really fight? Versus
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying.
pros.
Then it makes this mixed crowd, creates all this hate.
But it also creates that weird fantasy that people get that is just like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what draws people in.
And
That's
they should
what
do
draws
Oh
people
yeah,
in.
yeah. I know that's a selling point,
Yep.
but I just
Yeah, it's not
that
fun of it.
Connor versus Jake Paul. I don't think it would ever happen, and if it did, it would probably be the cringiest thing.
It
And
definitely would.
I feel like with the Paul brothers, they would let it ride out. They would gain so much notoriety and money actually from the buildup of it,
They would.
just through their other avenues, and then it would fall through last minute because you got to realize, like, hey, I'm dealing with somebody that would seriously hurt me.
Yep, that's true. And
Here's
then-
another thing
That's
on
real.
that I kind of wanted to talk on is what Chael Sonnen said is how come there's never like, oh, let's do celebrity MMA?
Well, that's.
I would
I mean,
love to see that.
in my opinion, that's kind of a wild card because, like we said, there's so much to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild card, but wouldn't it be more to the advantage?
No, because at that point, to me is okay. So look, boxing can look crisp, even if you're not knowing what you're doing compared to who it is. But when it's two guys that are in MMA, there's no way to make that look crisp.
I was
You
just
either
about to
know what
say
you're
that.
doing or you don't.
Really silly seeing two people that have no wrestling or BJJ experience trying to like do grappling or wrestling or anything of the sort.
Yeah,
Like, it would just look silly.
yeah. I mean,
maybe.
It would look silly.
I don't
maybe.
know. And then it's like, yeah, you put these guys in there, and it's like, yeah, I mean, that I think it would kind of look kind of crazy at that point. I mean, they're
Like,
probably
other
on the
than
same level.
striking and like striking and clinching is one thing, but me taking you to the ground and trying to do like an arm bar when I don't even know the proper position.
Well, first off, you shouldn't be attempting that type of
I'm
shit.
just saying,
anyway,
like,
if it's not, yeah.
Well, look, you
but I'm
never
just
know.
saying that like if we're gonna talk about MMA, you gotta consider all possibilities.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
you know,
Maybe
if you
kickboxing.
see that a celebrity try to do that and they have no knowledge on how to actually properly pull an
I
arm
mean,
bar,
you could. That's all part of rules. I mean, look how many rules go into setting up a boxing match. You could very easily say, okay, no submissions.
But that's
Well,
the thing,
yeah.
though, too. Though boxing has always had these rules. I don't think
Yeah.
Jake. I don't think Jake. And that's a difference. That now you're kind of watering. Now you'll be watering down the sport in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Where boxing, you're not. You are watering it down because it's Jake and Nate. I didn't mean for that to even rhyme. But you're not changing like the fundamentals and the stuff you could do in the sport. With MMA, you're right. We will have to change everything about it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why. That's
if
my
you're
take
gonna
on
limit
it.
if you're gonna limit the sport with celebrities, how would you do it?
Well, he just said, no submissions. I mean, I would just go for kickboxing. Just straight tie, kickboxing,
Yeah,
probably
that
the
makes more
median.
That makes more sense.
Maybe the median. I would still watch that. But other than that,
There's only one like celebrity like I really give like credit like of going down that path of actually like training, and his was more for production too, but that was Idris Elba when he was like, hey, I just want to go through this Muay Thai experience.
oh, no, I'm not going to lie. No, he was really wrecking. I watched
Yeah, I
that whole
know.
thing. He was getting thrashed.
Yeah, but and it wasn't like. Here's my thing. You can't come into something like boxing and just disrespect the whole entire process that it takes to be at a high level. And Jake Paul has done exactly that, and it just doesn't sit right with me. It's annoying to me because it's all this game. Like, you can talk, but you knew if there was a possibility that you could run into Conor McGregor and there wasn't that amount of money on the line.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it's selling the illusion of playing with fire, but you got oven mitts on. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you're protected in this. Because is Conor really gonna hurt Jake Paul in a boxing match? Not really. Not really. And it's all it is, oh, well, we can raise this amount of money and both of us can walk away with millions.
Yeah.
And what did I see? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did I see?
Right.
I mean, it started with McGregor and Mayweather.
Yeah,
it started there, but at least that had some validation because cross promotion or cross sport stuff like that has happened in the past, and they're both high level athletes.
Right.
So I'm okay with that.
No, I mean, okay. Well, like you said, if it was something like people that already trained for it, I would be interested in that. I'm not gonna lie, I would be interested in that. Yes.
Because as far as MMA, what celebrity do you know that actually trains
we don't
MMA?
Know.
Like, the only person I could think of is honestly Wiz Khalifa.
No, there's a lot of celebrities, especially like a lot of celebrities that are involved with jiu-jitsu. There's a lot of celebrities that are in jiu-jitsu. Like a lot.
Yeah, it's a decent amount. I to say.
But that's the thing about jiu-jitsu is you don't know who's doing what.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you get real shocked when you hear like, oh, such and such is that. It's just like with Kevin Holland over the weekend, where it was like, oh yeah, he's a black belt. Like, oh, okay. You just never know.
Yeah.
And well, you saw it for the first time, but you would have never known that. So I think there's a lot of celebrities like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think when it comes to just stuff with celebrities in boxing, I think it needs to die down a little bit. It's getting out of hand with this Jake Paul stuff because now he's just doing crazy stuff and it's all for clout, but that's who he is.
Yep, that's exactly who he is. I mean,
might as well move on to the card over the weekend, which was pretty crazy all around.
Yeah.
We don't really have to discuss that.
I mean,
there's only one fight at this point.
No, we're going to discuss it because
it's only one.
I lost a bet off a technicality.
One fight we can discuss.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it is what it is. I was wrong. Tony Ferguson got his ass beat. He got washed.
But my thing is, I sat there and explained that to you. Of that is exactly what was going to happen, and y'all, you was looking at me like I was crazy. And I was like, that's how I knew Charles Oliveira was going to be so dominant. That's why I was willing to bet you the exact way he was going to go out and the exact way it was going to happen. And I was off because Tony Ferguson's arm just defies all physics and biology.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you go back and listen to the last previous episode, I never said Tony Ferguson was going to win.
Okay, and that's fine. But you gave him a lot more credit than he deserved, and he did.
I did. I'm a fan of Tony Ferguson, but I'm also a fair fan, and he needs to his ass needs to retire.
Yeah, that's
just what it is. That should be it. He needs to retire.
Maybe.
Yeah, nah. What was Khabib people saying?
Too many injuries. He doesn't look the same.
I don't think he needs to retire. I think with everything that is going on with COVID and his loss to Gaethje, and his injuries and the way he trains and his style, all of that is not working for him because you saw his striking coach not there.
Right.
Eddie Bravo not there. Eddie Bravo's usually in his corner. Eddie Bravo was not there. He's in an in-between thing. You know who kind of went through this last year and it really fucked him up? Kevin Lee.
You're right.
Between stage of I gotta find where. Same thing with Diego Sanchez when he left Jackson Wink. Like I gotta find a place to make something work.
But didn't Kevin Lee was a little different because didn't the guy
his coach passed away? Yeah,
he passed away.
but whether they passed away or left or whatever, like if you're not on a certain routine that you're used to, you can't bounce back from stuff like that.
Yeah,
You just got
You're right.
You've gotten embarrassed 2 fights in a row now.
That's true.
That's true.
All of that is you trying to do this on your own, and it's not a on your own type of sport.
It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally think that this smart move when he went up to the GSP camp, but man, like you said, that in between will royally screw you because any coach that you go with will they'll see your talents and they'll see what you're good at, but they still want to teach it in their way. You're reprogramming and learning certain things all over again. Especially when you're taking fights, he's been on the outer edge of winning. So it's like I'm pretty sure when Dana White said, "Hey, take this fight," he's like, "Man, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna smoke him." Right. Sometimes you kind of need them reps to just sit there and you got to a new camp, learn the ways of your camp and your coach and your team, and I think you'd be all right. Waste of time.
Yeah,
not gonna say waste of time, but
he needed surgery anyway because didn't he tear his ACL?
I believe so. Either. Yeah, and
I thought he got surgery and took care of all that.
I thought he got. I thought he took care of it.
He got surgery to get that stuff.
It's just and that's not taking anything away from Charles DuBronx Olivier because he is the real deal. He's always been the real deal. I think it's a lot of him is the maturity. Good comparison to him, he just hasn't reached that level. Is the same thing with him and Max Holloway. They started fighting in the UFC like really young,
very early,
very early. So you're a trial by fire all the time. Like they have learned at the highest level, and now when these guys start to mature more, they get smarter, they get more proficient in their skills. Because Charles Olivier's issue throughout his career was, bro, you're doing too much. You're trying to do too much too fast.
Yeah, that's always been that. That's always been
Last weekend, it was methodical. It was paced.
It was crazy. That was crazy.
He made Tony Ferguson look like he was not Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I hate to say it, but Ali might have been kind of right. He kind of looked like a white belt up there.
No, I mean that's circumstantial. It's kind of give and take. You never know how you're feeling or how you want to roll. I think those injuries play a part. I brought that up. You think? Tony Ferguson's gonna be super.
That's always brought up with any Tony Ferguson fight, though. But that's what I'm saying. He needs to retire because every time we bring up Tony Ferguson, whether it's his previous fights or his next fight, whatever, it's always going to be those injuries. He needs to just retire, and he's getting old now. It's just hang it up.
Yep, I mean that's true. That's true.
There's a fine line between being extremely brave and being extremely stupid.
Yeah,
there you go.
And Tony Ferguson is one of those dudes that floats right on that line all the time.
All the time.
Like that is his personality.
He's a character.
He should have just tapped.
He's a character. Oh,
he should have.
I'm sorry.
I think he did some serious damage to himself, and he should have.
But it's not that easy though, bro. Especially when you get to that certain area. Like I don't know. Like I'm hard to tap. Like not saying hard to get tapped out, but me subconsciously is like, damn, am I really about to go ahead and hit that?
Yeah, but you're also not doing. You also not get. Listen, when somebody puts you in an armbar. And that's why we haven't really seen it like that, because a lot of places, they'll teach it, but it's not something you're ever going to do in the gym because when you lock in an armbar and then you tuck it and you're now using your hips to flex against that,
it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
That is going into the progression of I'm getting out of competition jiu-jitsu and I'm going into self-defense and street jiu-jitsu where I'm doing this maneuver because I'm going to break your arm.
Right.
And it was getting to that point, and I thought, hey, this is going to snap any moment.
I thought it was over too.
His arm was bent, and the elbow, it was nasty. That was nasty.
And the stomach, baby.
That was
I don't know. I hope he figures it out. As far as the other card, great performance from Kevin Holland. Mackenzie Dern showed a whole nother side of her. Yeah. I thought that was going to be the match, and they were striking the entire time.
Yeah, I was telling my friend
that was a close fight, though. It
was a close fight. I was telling a few of my guys when we went to the bar, and I was telling them, "Yo, this is gonna be a jiu-jitsu like fight for the most part. They're like, really? And they just came out striking. They all looked at me
mainly
like
striking. Yeah.
they looked at me like, you sure you know what you're talking about? I'm like, yeah, I damn sure know what I'm talking about. But this
Yeah,
right
well,
here-
if you know both of their background, you would
Yeah.
know that. Yeah, but I think it's just McKenzie just realized, hey, this is an opportunity for me to really work on something.
Hey,
And-
but I said that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
all in all, it's an exciting card. I liked it. I enjoyed it. All in all.
All right, so
What we got
This
next,
card-
man?
that leaves the UFC Fight Night. Wonderboy Thompson versus Jeff Neal. Is that his name? Jeff Neal.
Yeah, Jeff Neal.
I mean,
I couldn't pick between the two.
We can give
Ooh,
we can give
that's-
some quick
that's-
picks. I mean, because let's
that's
be real,
hard.
the prelims ain't looking.
Hold on. Michael P is fighting. Hold on. Watch your
Oh
mouth.
yeah, I was gonna say
Watch
Yeah,
your
that's the main
mouth.
card, though. That's the main card.
A
I
lot
know.
of these fights right here, they're very neck and neck.
Yeah. No, these are some good fights. That main card is great.
Yeah.
Pierre Lima versus Chaos Williams. Chaos is good, but that man,
Hey, look.
NPL, he's
Yo.
too creative. He's too confident. He's one of my favorite fighters.
I would-
So that's what I'm taking.
Hey, Chad, we had this conversation, me and you. I threw it up there saying that's one of my favorite. You was like, me too. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Michael
Oh,
plays
who's
no
your pick?
game. Michael. I'm not gonna say the
Oh.
whole name thing, but essentially Michael Lima.
Yeah.
But
With
yeah,
all the, he likes to slap people like Nate Diaz. the
that's
Diaz
my
bros.
dog. That's my dog.
did you ever understand that slap thing? The only reason why he slapped him is because old boy tried to slap him during
Yeah,
the fight.
he was disrespectful. Yeah, so
Yeah, he's disrespectful. I'm gonna slap you in the fight. So yeah.
That's really it. This could be a good card. Greg Hardy is fighting. It's always his last few
Greg
fights.
Hardy, every time he fights, he looks better and better every single
He
time.
does. He does.
Be good for his progression.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo, Cheeto Vera. Cheeto, don't lose this fight.
You think he's going to?
I said don't,
Don't
lose this fight.
Or
I
it's
really
wild.
don't have a dog in this fight because Cheeto is fighting for his existence and kind of proving that he deserves to be towards that top 10.
Especially after being
Which I
O'Malley.
do think he can be there.
Yeah.
Jose Aldo is trying to fight to keep from getting cut,
Yeah.
which a lot of these fights are exactly that.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
Even Anthony Pettis is fighting on this card, and I think that he is fighting to keep from getting cut.
Yeah.
I mean-
which is why he's fighting some no-name fighter that looks like you said.
He
So
looks like a creative fighter off UFC.
Oh, the
a
disrespect.
created UFC fighter from UFC 4.
But as far as go ahead, James.
No, I'm about to say. I mean, he got a fight. He got to fight for his at this point.
Yeah, he's got to fight for him.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
He's got a long list of people that could potentially go. We're gonna start finding out real soon, as soon as they lose.
yeah, I'm about to say Anthony Pettis has been one of my favorite fighters throughout me watching UFC. But granted, I've been watching for a very long time. So
And he's also really, really old.
yes, he
This
is.
week was the anniversary of his Showtime kick
When he kicked Ben Henderson.
against Ben Henderson, and
Yo,
that was a decade ago. It was a decade ago.
I've been
It was
watching-
10
that-
years.
I've been
He
watching
entered the
UFC
Matrix for the
a
first time in his
decade.
life.
Hey, that's crazy. That's so crazy.
It was
Yeah,
a decade
it may
ago.
be time. All my favorites.
You know, it was funny because I was watching the interview and he was saying when he did that kick, he didn't even realize that it landed until after he turned around and saw him on the ground.
Hey, well, look, some things you just gotta full commitment, 0 doubt. That's all.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are just coming up on this card or just fighting for their existence in the UFC.
Yeah.
It kind of wraps up the year. As far as Stephen Thompson and Jeff Neal goes, I think that's a legitimate fight. To see placement is Jeff Neal going to continue his rise, and should Stephen Thompson continue to hold that number 5 spot?
I agree. That's a fight that needs to happen. I agree.
Stephen Thompson beats Jeff Neal.
Oh,
I think he's just
Without a
gonna.
doubt.
I
Yeah,
think
me
he's just
too.
gonna outstrike him. I don't think Jeff Neal is at that level.
Yeah, I think Jeff.
he's
Neal's
going
at
to
that
keep him
level.
away with those strikes, but also those kicks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you can.
that's what I mean by striking. Just throwing punches and kicks in general.
Oh
Yeah, I mean, Wonder
I
Boy is a
just-
weird fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, a weird fight is he can see him getting knocked out. You can see him do a lot of things, but actually fighting him is different.
But Jeff Neal has hands.
Yeah,
Like hands.
yeah. No, he got hands. With a name like Hands, is still you need to have them things. All right.
I'm not gonna lie. Jeff Neal, he lands six like the significant strikes is 6 landed per minute.
But also
Versus
wrestling
Thompson,
background. Have you ever seen Wonder Boy do really well against wrestlers?
Tyron Woodley.
That
He
wasn't
still
well.
lost.
He still lost, and it was one of the fights that almost put me to sleep.
The first fight was a draw, so he ain't lose that one.
Yeah.
But my thing is like
He didn't do
for
well.
being number 5, going against a guy that knows how to wrestle, has really good hands. This is Tyron 3.0. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
he's gonna struggle. But do I think Wonder Boy is gonna find a way to be weird and pull it out? Yeah.
I think so too. Somehow, some way, I just think he will. So, I agree. But you know what? I'm about to go the opposite way. I'm tired of being safe pick. I'm going Neil. Nothing I put my money on. I'm just going Neil. I'm pulling one out of Brad card. Just whatever. Throw it. You know.
Just know whenever you like pick a fighter by yourself, you're always wrong for the most part.
I agree, but it's okay. Because I want Wonder Boy to win as well. I still like Wonder Boy. I think lesser of him. Don't sit up and say no, you don't, because you completely dished him. I wish I had a recording of you just going on him, and that was you was a fan. You were a fan. I would never been a fan. I've been a fan of his, but not a fan. You know what? We'll say that for offline. We'll say that for offline.
I don't know what we're saving because I don't know what you're talking about.
It's all right. I like that poker face. Look at the smile though. You breaking. You cracking. Look, you just want to show
But Jeff Neal, it's so weird because he's got weird wins and he's got weird losses.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. Absolutely. Yeah. All of them been very weird. So, I mean,
what about
the Jose Aldo?
the Marlon Moraes and Rob Font?
That's Marlon fighting for his existence too.
That I'm about to say, Marlon is another example of a second banana. All right, he always gets there, then gets smoked, and then gets smoked. Typically, that's how it is.
Hold on, did Marlon ever fight Peter?
I'm not sure.
I'm about to check.
Go ahead, run that real quick. Run that, homie. Run that, please. You talking about Creative Fire, Rob Font? This sounds he like he found him on the street, bro. Like it's
it's like an average Joe. Like, a lot of fights together.
I'm about to say, I wish I could see where you from. I know you're from the United States.
I mean, he's number 11, and he's got a decent.
Oh, yeah, he didn't fight Peter. He lost to Henry Cejudo, beat Jose Aldo, which I think Jose won, and he lost to Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah, well.
So yeah, he never fought Peter Yan. I mean, so I don't know.
That's true. So,
yes, I don't know. I think Marlon Moraes pulls that out, but I just.
Dang, I just read the comment. Somebody talking about Tony is done. Yeah, he is.
Thank you.
That's
he's
real.
definitely done.
That's real, Bruce. That's real. Tony is done. But
I don't necessarily think he's done. I think that he needs to sort himself out.
He's done.
I don't want to see him done. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But yeah, he's probably done.
Just think he's done.
Yeah, he's not.
Come on, Chad. Come on, Chad. Come on, bro. Join it. Come on.
He's done.
Come on, bro.
He's done.
There we go, my man. Welcome to the squad.
He's not top 10.
No,
he's not top 10 anymore.
He's not.
So he needs to retire.
Yeah, that's it. Now you either just getting scraps or you getting mauled on. I'm out of there.
Once again, I'm gonna go back to that thing. Is that Tony? There's a line between being really brave and being really fucking stupid. And Tony don't know where that line is.
He don't, and that's what's been. He been killing himself with that. We said he already shot him in the foot. He shot himself in the foot.
Fights, he was stupid.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
But Tony doesn't know is he puts way too much out there emotionally for people to read.
Yeah, he does.
And The lead up to that last fight, like I said in the last episode, showed me everything that I needed to see. When you're starting to make excuses before the fight of why shit can go wrong for you, you're done. You're done. Like, you're done at that point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's that. At the end of the day, I guess you're going to deal with Tony White here. Dang, it went from wanting to see Tony to deal with Tony. Man, like crazy. Life is so crazy.
Bye, Tony. That's what we going with. Bye, Tony.
I about to say, I mean, all in all.
Oh, no. Don't try to change it up. Now you were standing for Tony all that.
Hey, hold on.
I knew Chaz was going to go on the attack.
Like I said earlier, I'm a fan. But I'm a fair fan. And he, like I said, I'm saying bye as in you need to retire. Bye. That's just it. That's it. I'm not going to be one of those fans that like, no, he still got it.
That's the issue with fighting in general. What's the benchmark for you need to retire? You know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's true.
And there's no scale because fighting is different than any other physical competition.
Yeah.
Fighting does not have a limit on, hey, all right, you're too old to fight. Because it comes from, a certain reality on the flip side. Like,
right.
You may need to fight for your life one day. And it doesn't matter how old, how young you are, this could possibly happen to you. Yep. So I think that creeps into the competition side.
Of course.
Where it's, when should I give this up? Because Tony's not going to stop training. And if you're not going to stop training and you have a good week of training or a good month of training or a good year of training, 2 years down the line, you're going to be like, oh, well, I can still do it. And what do? They all come back.
Yeah.
They all come back.
Besides GSP. And he's the GOAT.
All right. See, no, I can't.
Oh, yeah, I did it. Yep.
All right, we're going to save that for another time. Let's save that for another time, fellas. Ding, ding. Throw in the towel. Throw the damn towel. All right, but as far as this card, I guess for everyone watching or that's going to listen, or that's going to listen later or watch later, either way, this should be another, interesting card. I think it's a lot of people that's throwing hands, for sure. I'm not going to speak too much on Greg Hardy because Greg Hardy has been progressing, and unfortunately, his hands are E for everybody. That's why he's now in the UFC. Because, that's pretty much it. But
yeah, we won't get into that. But anyway,
yeah.
Anyway,
but 7-2, he looks good every time. So, better.
Yeah.
That is it for me. As far as everything else,
that's all I have.
For those of you who watched, thank you. Appreciate it.
Right. Definitely appreciate
subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You know the deal.
Yep.
Any little bit helps. So.
Any little bit. And next week we will be doing we'll be welcoming on another podcast. I'll release more details and stuff like that a little later during this week, but it should be fun. Definitely should be fun.
Might be a little bit chaos.
Oh, it's going to be chaos. It's always going to be chaos. Nothing can ever go right like it's supposed to. But that's what makes it authentic. So that's that.
All right.
Well, thank you for listening. Y'all go ahead and watch those NBA games, the NFL games. Y'all have a good night and have a good weekend.